This is Louisiana at its best. Time to hang out for some coffee and conversation. Here's your host, TJ.
Louisiana at its best because we are a people. We're people. People that like people. It's in us. It's in our DNA. That's right. I'll tell you what, we got some native Louisianans here ready to chit-chat with us and talk it up. Talking about books, plural, but one book in particular. Please welcome to the program. Let me just tell you, April Foster is smiling and grinning from ear to ear, and she's the busiest woman I know. How do you do it, April?
Oh, thanks.
What's up? Good morning.
Good morning.
You hear that? You just heard the smile.
Yes.
And we'll talk about her book, but hold on one second before we do that. We've got Avery Leighton is here with us. She is the artist. Avery, good morning.
Good morning.
You doing all right?
Yes, sir.
She seems like she just woke up. Mom, did she just wake up? Yeah. Well, let me just say, she is providing artwork for the book, and this is where I just want you real quick, April, for those who do not know, how long ago was it that you weren't an author? 4 years ago? 3 years ago?
Something like that.
Okay.
2019.
And so now, boom.
4 books.
4 books. Author Supreme, I think they call that. No? Yes.
Two of them are bestsellers.
And let me just say, I'm so proud just to say I know her. And let me just say, I'm glad you're here today because today you're focusing on one book in particular. But before we jump into that, kind of just list the books. Tell me the 4 books right now that are available for folks.
So I co-authored a devotional book called The Joyous Journey of Loss. It's a devotion for women to help them experience things that have happened in their lives that have been very painful, and they work through it. The second book was launched this November in New York. It's called The Joyful Entrepreneur: Awaken, Renew, and Transform. And it's for people who are trying to combat the business lies that they believe and to pound them with the truth of God. And so the third book, Unexpected Guest, that came very unexpectedly, which we will talk about later.
Yep.
And just 2 weeks ago, we just launched, I co-authored another book called Before She Knew Jesus. And I'm actually getting on a plane today to do the book launch tomorrow in Phoenix, Arizona, and be talking at a women's conference. But this is a devotional book also that I've co-authored with. And it's the journey of sanctification. After we come to know Jesus, what does that journey look like?
I'm going to speak over this book right now, if you don't mind. That's going to be your biggest selling book. And the reason I say that is because so many people that want to do something better or different, and they turn their lives around for whatever, and there's reasons galore, right? And let's say they go ahead and accept Jesus, and they're trying to live their life right and do it all that. Well, it's a little bit of a bumpy road, and there's a lot of questions.
Yes.
And so to have like a workbook, a book,
yes,
a devotional that's going to help people address the common issues, I think that's going to be fire. I'm just saying. All right. Well, let's just go ahead and talk right now about this fantastic book, The Unexpected Guest. April Foster, will you please tell me about The Unexpected Guest? Who is it? And this is a children's book. Who is this for?
So this children's book actually came just out of the blue, very unexpectedly. That's why I loved the title when God just dropped that in my lap. This book was birthed from a gift of flowers that my daughter gave me. She bought them in the farmer's market on a Saturday from Yellow Van Farms, and she just beautiful bouquet of flowers. But inside of it, unknowing to anyone, there was a tiny little caterpillar egg, and about 3 days later, some of my bouquet was missing.
So now, from going to not even having a kid's book on the mind, on the brain,
correct,
but your brain's percolating, you saw this opportunity, and so you're thinking, how did that translate for you? Okay, you got a caterpillar who's munching down on your leaves. How did that become the inspiration itself? Like, describe it.
Well, the process of a caterpillar is about 6 weeks total. The whole metamorphosis stage, from the egg to the chrysalis to the butterfly. It is 6 to 8 total weeks.
Right.
So I was thinking, this is cool, 6 to 8 weeks, I'll look at this. But what I didn't realize was this process actually took 9 months. And I thought that the chrysalis died. Everyone told me it died. You know, Avery actually was at my house when it turned to a chrysalis. And she was really excited about when the butterfly was coming out. Well, the butterfly is supposed to come out in 14 days. And I had to wait. And I never knew if it would ever come out. And so when it came out, it surprised me And it just surprised me. And I videoed and I took pictures for 9 months, believing, hoping that dead thing that was hanging from a stalk would actually come alive. And so after I did it, I put together this really just very amateur video on YouTube that's 12 minutes long about the whole waiting process. I put it out there. Avery's grandmother and along with about 10 other people call me up and they're like, this has to be a book.
Oh.
And I'm like, what? And Avery goes, I told Avery this story and Avery goes, Miss April, can I draw the cover to your book? And it's in the book, the story about how it got birthed. But I looked at her and I was like, Avery, what book? And it was like God gave her this vision. She goes, Miss April, I can see the pictures for your book. And so I pitched it. I went to She Speaks in North Carolina, and I pitched it to one of the first publishers I met. And the publisher looked at me and she says, you won't believe this, but I've never published a children's book. But the Lord told me that if someone approached me about a children's book that I would consider, and I was able to use the video to pitch it to the publisher. She saw the story and she was like, I want it.
Okay. See how cool that is? Now, this is just one of the many ways that got to move, but it's so beautiful that book was coming together. You weren't even involved.
Nope.
Now, and then once you put your hands, pen to pad, and you started writing the book, tell me the storyline. Because again, I want to get to the art part because I'm so excited and proud of Avery and the work that she's done. Kind of like a short little story. When people get the book, you're encouraging parents to read it with and to kids.
Yes, absolutely. The audience is for the entire family. We wrote this book from the video, but we decided to target a 7 to 8 year old. Okay. Avery's sister, her younger sister, is actually 4 years old, and we have done beta reading to all gamuts from 3 years old all the way to 15 to 16 to 17 years old. And the parents who were reading it, the feedback that I had was it has a profound message of hope in the waiting.
Oh, you just gave me goosebumps. Look what you did.
Yay.
That's beautiful. So there you go. Your unexpected guest, the story, but of course with that wonderful message tied to it. And these kids are going to walk away with that hope and even patience.
Patience. That's right.
Patience, which is very important.
Yes.
And she's been very patient. Avery.
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to start right here with, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 15 years old.
All right, she's 15. Check this. Now, I've been knowing you for many years because we go to the same church. And years ago, I noticed one day, and I'd seen you from afar during services, sometimes your head would be down. And I'm thinking, I hope this poor girl is actually getting something from the service. So I go, and at some point, I think I sat behind you, and I noticed you were drawing.
Yes,
like
sir.
not doodling, like actually drawing fantastic pieces of art in a notebook. And since then, I've seen it just grow, and your skills have gotten so much better. And I've become a fan, and you know that because whenever she finishes a piece, she'll run up to me to show me these pieces that you do. So you have a God-given talent, number one.
Thank you.
Now, you actually had the idea for the artwork for this particular book before she had the book. That's pretty cool. The unexpected guest. What were you seeing, like in the artwork? What was the idea?
Just a bunch of colorful things. It just popped in my head. I just really wanted to illustrate this book. I was like, Miss April, I have to do this.
And she's never illustrated a book before.
No, sir.
Is this your first paying gig?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see, well, there you go. That's always a joy right there. The unexpected guest, I can see just from the color. By the way, if you go, this book is available on Amazon and Barnes and with all those places. And locally, we have it at some places. The Unexpected Guest with April Foster and Avery's artwork. I'm just interested in you as an artist. Some artists struggle with putting their stuff out there. How do you feel about the stuff that made it into the book? Be honest.
Well, I think the first few pages were not as good as the last few pages because that's when I was first getting started.
Right.
Trying to figure out what was right. But I think the book came out really good, and I'm really proud of it.
What do you describe your style as an artist? At your age, you're young, and you're discovering really who you are. I've watched you, and it's a beautiful thing to see your talent, and you don't stop it. And props to Mom over here for letting her do what she does, because I think it's beautiful. How would you describe your artwork?
Cartoony, colorful, and
But it
whatnot.
draws you in. You do big. I've seen you do these really big eyes, and you do action kind of things, and it's really beautiful. You even drew something for me one time, which was I still have that, by the way. You've given it to me. So Avery, I think, and you're already, I think, working on the next book. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
You've been hired for your second gig.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, that's a blessing. Wow, how cool. All right. And what would you like to do with your artwork? You ever
Just
thought
like
about it?
spread it wide, and encourage other artists.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, I think you're going to be doing just that, and what a beautiful place to start. Y'all two are amazing. The Unexpected Guest. Anything, April, you want to add about this book or anything else about?
Just that if you want to connect with me, you can go to my website at www.lovecoloredtheway.com. You'll be able to see all the books that I've authored. You'll also can be able to connect with me. And if you are interested in any speaking opportunities or retreats or anything like that, just reach out to me on my website.
Lovecoloredtheway.com. Did I get that right? There you are, right there.
That's it. Oh. And we have I have the video, I have the books, all the good stuff.
April Foster.
Fostering Foundations. That is our LLC. We've actually had this business for 10 years, and it is morphed.
That was meant to be.
It is.
That's so cool.
Yeah, our mission is to foster foundations in marriage, family, and identity. And we also have a podcast called Bedroom in the Bible. If you want to check us out, you can get it on all major podcast platforms. We go through the book of Hebrews in season 1, and we're in season 2 right now, and we're discussing the book of Romans.
That's so beautiful. Let me just say, if you go to lovecoloredtheway.com, there's a book link. You click on that. It'll lead you to all of our books, including the one you can get, The Unexpected Guest, with artwork by Avery Leighton. Thank you so very much. You two are best. Avery, you're the best. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I'm telling you,
Yes, sir.
just keep on. Even if you get a little discouraged from time to time, this is what you're meant to do.
Yes, sir.
Right. All right. Love you. That's a good deal. And April Foster, thank you so very much for what you're doing. You're following, you're being led correctly, and you're doing it, which is not always easy.
Oh, it's not.
It's not. Now, I know you got to go. You're going to Phoenix, so
Going to Phoenix.
keep us in the loop, will you?
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, you got it. The Unexpected Guest. Get it today. It's a children's book written locally. We're always talking about shopping local, doing local. You can't get any more local than this. Do it and order it today on Amazon. The Unexpected Guest. I got to go. Come in.